Hargreaves, chance for Torquay! Chris Hargreaves, the captain! If he stays onside, Carlisle checks instead. He's looking for Benyon. Sills!
Hello and welcome to the second part of this week's Gull'S Eye View. Before we get into what you've said this week and your opinions, we've asked you a few questions as ever. We'll talk about the squad and what we need going forwards. Centre-back is a bit that I really need. And left-back, depending on what the status with Dan Martin. Where do we start? Chris, let's start with you.
Right, yes, I would definitely say, well, goalkeepers are sorted.
Yeah.
House doesn't love it back, that's fine. Right side is probably fine. Crow can't miss bad again, you would hope. And at lower level. So him, Donlan on the right-hand side, so that's fine. Yeah, centre-back's the glaring one, isn't it? Because what is there? Marshall. Is that it? Tomlinson re-signed, so I think he might have more of a...
Tomlinson and Moxie if he plays
Yeah,
left
Moxie on the left side. I think the left side is certainly something
It depends what formation we play as well, because if it's like a 4-3-3 or 4-4-2.
I suspect from what they've done that the hope is that Martin will be retained and that he's able and he has recovered suitably and he can now play. I think midfield where we're the strongest. We've got a lot of players, haven't we, in midfield that were all there before, including Ryan Hansen, which is great. And then in the more forward areas, we've got I think Stobbs, we'll see more from Stobbs offensively this year.
You're trying to lose us viewers. As soon as you mention Hansen, I'm sure they click the X.
He's lost all credibility.
I just glossed over it.
Right, you started about Hansen, turn it off.
Record this, and then we can come back to this at regular intervals in the season, then you see. And then obviously further forward, I think do we need another attacking option? Maybe.
I'd say so.
Yeah, I think so. Maybe somebody can play out wide and down the middle. Maybe something like that. But yeah, I mean, I think we're probably, what are we? Probably a couple, three, probably permanent players, and then the rest will be made up.
16, haven't we? So you say another 2 or 3 permanent, and maybe 1 or 2 loans, perhaps.
Yeah.
I'd say.
I think any more than 20 is probably. We're probably not going to go with any more than kind of 18.
I might be tempted to get another midfielder who could maybe push forward and support the strikers, that kind of thing, to change up the midfield a little bit, because they're all a bit central. They're a bit one pace looking, aren't they? The midfield.
I mean, we've got 5 central midfield players, haven't we? In Hall,
I'm talking about
McGavin and Hansen, but that's what Hansen and McGavin are meant to be, isn't it?
10 role. Somebody who can
they're meant to be, isn't it?
Advanced. Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, it will be joking aside. It will be interesting to see A, if they're still there, but B, just how much more of an influence McGavin and Hansen are able to have this year, because they were very much McGavin less so, but they were very much peripheral figures in the main, weren't they? McGavin obviously played more than Hansen, but really they weren't kind of central to what we were doing that much. It'll be interesting to see if they are kind of involved a bit more this year.
Gary Johnson kind of gave up on them in the new year, didn't he? Once it got towards the end, so especially McGavin, he had him as a sort of key man to start the season. I remember watching him at Exmouth, and he was giving him directions. He was expecting him to direct the midfield. I think he was expecting him to be the playmaker, and he just wasn't up to it. So.
And of course, what a lot of people forgot, but you forget about McGavin and Hansen, they're young kids.
Yeah.
They really are not very old. What are they? 21,
they weren't
22?
ready for it, were they?
No, and that's the thing. I think
a good career will usually have some failure in it, and they did fail. All of them failed last season. Yeah. Now, if they want that career, they need to come back from that and learn from it. So, I reckon.
And of course, it could be that the club are actively. The club might be trying to move them on. You just don't know. Yeah. You know, if somebody at our level or around us will take them. But I don't know they will. I think certainly McGavin more so than Hansen showed that there is potential there. But obviously, it's about showing that on a regular basis.
Bold prediction. I think McGavin will come good this season.
Yeah, I'd agree with that actually. Yeah. I think he could score 5-10. I think he could score 5-10 goals this season because he's decent on set pieces. I think he can hit a 25-yarder, can't he? Not many of our players can do that. So I think he could bring something if he can energise himself. Got to get motivated. Yeah, I want to see him on his toes, ready for games. He just didn't look ready last season.
I mean, if you look at that group of players we've just mentioned, you would say McGavin is probably the one that's got the most likelihood of making something of himself in the National League South. I mean, blimey, if they can't make it in the South at the start of the season, then they're destined to just fall down the pyramid. And personally, I agree with Chris. I think we definitely need to be looking at another centre back for sure. Maybe someone on the left hand side as well. But the midfield is where we definitely look strong, I think, and even up front, I think. You could probably maybe get a couple of loanees in from these friendlies that we've got coming up.
I think you've got to cater for injuries, haven't you, and look after the squad a bit better. I mean, Moxie's going to be 38, isn't he? So you really want to look after him a bit. You don't want to be playing 90 minutes every week, do you? So
it just all depends on it'll depend on the budget, won't it? Because Gary mentioned that there's not a lot left to spend out of the budget because so many of the players all decided to sign on.
He's got to be clever, Tom. We've never had a big budget over the years, have we? You've just got to be clever and get the right pieces in. Last season we seemed to get a lot of players in, but you didn't know what to do.
A squad now. It's last season we weren't.
I think what was interesting from his comment, that first day of pre-season was whether I'm just surmising, I don't know, but I kind of got the feeling that they've spent money on players they weren't expecting to get. I mean, Stobbs and Collins surprised me. I mean, Collins, for both of them, their videos are all very, all very positive, and it was great. Come back to the lads. Oh yeah, but the reality is, if they could have got something better, they would have done. So yes, they've come back. Yes, it's a dressing room they know, group of lads they know, perform well with, but equally, had they have got a League Two offer or a National League offer, they would have gone there instead. So
I think he'd assumed a Lapsley would have gone as well. I think he'd assumed
that was the most surprising one. I think.
Yeah, because he looks a National League player to me still. But there you go, he signed back.
But again, he's one who's not fit enough, is he? That was half the problem last year. You had Hall and Lapsley, and Moxie to a degree, whose fitness wasn't wonderful at times. We had players in the squad, your McGavins, your Hansons, who you couldn't trust to play instead of them, and they are the replacements, the rotation.
Which could still happen this year, which is the slight worry, isn't it? Yeah. Because Lapsley and Hall will have spells out. Dawson's also quite tasty on the tackles, isn't he? So he's bound to get suspended at some stage because he's going to pick up a few yellows, and he's had some injuries over the time. He'll be 33 soon, so you've got to guard against that. So yeah, that is a slight concern. But we're strong in there, but over the winter time, these players will get knocks and stuff like that. So you're going to have to. The squad is going to have to be, ready to take their places. We can't count on this 11, 12 players all season.
Be interesting to see because we've signed from the under 18s. What's his name? Callum Thomas. He's a centre back, isn't he? So it'd be interesting to see if he's in Gary's plans at any point. I doubt it personally. I think he might be one that will be sent on loan somewhere.
I saw him play. I think it was in youth. I saw a youth cup game last season. I remember him in solid kind of. I think he's a left-footed centre back. Plays solid. Is confident on the ball from what I remember. So.
Is Gary Johnson at a stage in his managerial career where he give players like that a chance just for the chance of it? I think.
But maybe you can get away with that in the South.
He's desperate to win, though, isn't he? I'm not sure he's building for the future.
You might be able to get away with that.
Everyone's desperate to win at other times.
He'd have played Moyes and stuff last season, wouldn't he, if he was going to give him a go because we were terrible. So, may as well chucked him in.
But maybe, as Tom says, in the South, maybe you can get away with them around the squad more. Not get away with them, that sounds degraded to their abilities, but you know what I mean.
I don't expect that guy to play or go on loan, won't he? Because he needs to get experience of men's football, doesn't he? Because if you put him in for 10 minutes and he gives away a goal and he makes a mistake, then his confidence is,
Yeah, but we had enough professionals who did that last season.
Yeah.
And constantly. So
professionals, did you say?
Yes. So at the end of the day, if he's good enough, he's old enough.
Oh, well done, some lad. It's good news for him. Let's see how it goes.
So going into the what you have said this week, let's see how the feeling is. I imagine it's pretty positive. Oh, kit. Are we talking about the kit? Let's cheer Chris up.
Oh, Chris is desperate to talk about the kit.
My opinion,
really
especially when I first saw it, I thought it was the worst kit I've ever seen, the home one. Got a bit more used to it now. The way one's grown on me. But non-Torquay fans really liked it. Steady, Chris. It's all right. I personally,
was folded.
I didn't quite understand the design. I didn't quite like the white seagull mess bit down here. It doesn't really correlate with my mind, and I don't think the purple South Devon really works with it.
The South Devon College looks silly, doesn't it?
Quite work with it, but it's fine. We'll move on because I can see Chris in the bottom left of my eye.
No, his arm folded. He looks as angry as Gary Johnson.
No, I'm not angry. I just literally don't care. I don't. There's a lot of emotion around a kit.
In the pre-chatter.
And I literally don't care. It's a bit of blue. It's a bit of white. It's a bit of yellow, like it is normally, with a sponsor who's paid money to put the name on it. I literally don't care. Go out, wear it every week, whatever. just win some games. That's all I'm interested
Will
in.
Hansen fit on the back is your worry, isn't it?
You could be wearing a cycling kit for like if we win, don't care.
It'll look good if we won the league, lifting the trophy come the end of the season.
I didn't actually like the one where we won the National League South last time, the yellow with sort of lines in the middle. I didn't like that shirt actually. And it still didn't grow me when we won the league.
I've literally never felt an emotion about a kit in my life, ever.
I don't.
Yeah, but you must have ones you've liked more than others. Really?
Ones where we won. The Westwood Developments one was the elite one, the yellow and blue one, the Rodney jacket, but that was an elite kit.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. But other than that, I quite like the yellow and white stripe one, which is maybe why this is sort of ish like that, isn't it? But yeah, I wouldn't say that a kit's ever evoked negative emotion in me.
I think the trouble is it's one of our main revenues, isn't it? So you want to get it right because that's money coming into the club, isn't it? So.
One thing I would say in a serious tone, I have found it interesting because I know there were some people who said, "Oh, it's a shame the 1899 bit's gone," and I thought that's the biggest nonsense I've ever known. I think it made sense for the 125th anniversary. It made sense, but surely one of your highest revenue earners has to be your front of shirt sponsor.
Yeah, wasn't Pro Direct sponsoring it to make it to not have that?
Yeah, I think you're right.
Maybe, but
I agree with you, Chris. If these are paying us more, if these are paying us more, don't care what the kit looks like.
Even then, given who it is, I don't know they will be paying anything if anything, because of course there's an alliance there already, isn't there? So when you're getting local businesses or whoever, you'd have thought that would be to showcase your product, your brand on a football shirt every week. You would have thought would be big money, but I found it odd that we've then kind of persisted with that for 3 or 4 years. But there probably are reasons why.
There we go, Don. We learned something there. Don't ask Chris to do a top 5 kits.
Right, go on.
You're wasting your time.
It'd be the quickest article I've ever written because they'll just be like.
My view on the kits.
Said? Oh yeah, your view on the kits.
My quick kit view. I dislike the home one. It might grow on me when I see it, but the away one is the one I'll be buying.
He doesn't like it. God, my goodness.
I'm hopeful they bring like a beetroot one out, a third beetroot kind of one in that style. I'd be all over that.
But that beetroot one, you wore to bed for 10 weeks, didn't you?
I wear it all the time, mate. I love it.
But that was bizarre as well, wasn't it? Because that was they made a massive thing about that. They wore it
2
twice.
games.
It did look quite good in fairness, and then it just disappeared. Then it's gone again. It's strange, wasn't it? It was almost like it was there for Christmas, almost like that.
Yeah.
Right, Tom. Right. What are they saying?
Here we go. So
no jingle.
Yeah, I need a jingle.
Got the guitar.
So very shortly you'll hear our predictions for the season ahead. A little bit of fun that we can come back to come the end of the season to see how horribly wrong we all were. So
like winning the league by 20 points last year, that sort of thing.
yeah. I'll never forget that. You'll never let me down on that, will you?
Nope.
So a couple on Facebook and Twitter. Thank you to everyone who responded. Gary Brown says Yeovil will finish top of the league with Torquay second. Martin Darby says, I think Gary will stay no matter what. Nuble has gone. How well he does that remains to be seen. He thinks we're going to finish in the top 4 this season. And if I just go to
Champions League.
Maybe. And then the rest on Facebook. So we've got Delvan DeWald who says, I think the gaffer will have told Jarvis to put himself in the shop window. He'll have 15 goals by Christmas and be gone by the end of January.
Something to look forward to.
They're a cheery bunch, this lot, aren't they?
Steve Browning says he's looking forward to seeing the Weymouth lad in action, a proven goal scorer at this level. He thinks he'll score more goals than Jarvis. He's also looking forward to the away support we'll bring to games, plus the magic of football under the floodlights in any time in the winter. Yes, National League South under the floodlights.
Oh, an old romantic.
I know.
Hey.
Harry Locke.
I've got an idea for a night out.
Harry Locke
taking you to the lights.
Harry Locke says he would have liked Noobs to stay. Is he overly concerned about a career journeyman blighted by injuries who has less than 70 professional goals in 450 appearances? Not really.
I saw that and it made me laugh.
We have 3 hungry, young and talented strikers in Jarve, Ash and Collins who will do a job and letting Frank get a higher
That's
wage
the
with
one.
Yeovil means we can spend that money on two or three more players.
Love that.
Yeah, I like Collins a lot. I think he'll do really well this season. So I'm with that.
Simon Bundy says Torquay to win the league with Yeovil's runner-up. I'll be all for that.
Yeah, I'm for that. I'm there for that.
Tobias Ashton says, if we don't start strong, I think Gary walks. My prediction is Gary actually plays someone who has come through our youth system. So we'll see if young Callum maybe gets a game.
That's a brave prediction there, isn't it?
like
He's
it,
not
yeah.
getting things.
Leon Harper says, I fear we will struggle. Got a good few players, but just not the squad depth to compete. Yeovil will walk it, clearly with their budget and with recent additions of Newblade and Whittle. At this level, promotion should be the bare minimum, but I can feel a long draining season ahead of us.
Maguire Drew they've got as well, haven't they?
Mm. Nick Pontins, he's given us some pretty good predictions as well. He says, here we go, smiles I am. Yeovil to win the league and with ease and by 100+ points. They'll finish
100
with.
points in the lead.
Yeah. Worthing to finish second and be the surprise team. Torquay United to finish third and struggle at times during the season, as we tend to do. Jarvis to leave in January, maybe Yeovil bound to replace Frank.
That would be good though.
Oh my goodness.
And the positive one for
I don't want to be surrounded by this bunch of Bristol.
and for Torquay United fans to appear in large numbers at all the away grounds next season. And finally, on Facebook, Angela Marie says, I think it will be a 2-horse race between Yeovil and Torquay, a bit like how it was with Notts County and Wrexham last season. Jarvis will do well and be amongst our top goal scorers. Knowing our luck, Newblade will score against us when we play Yeovil.
Yeah, I think that's pretty set, isn't it? If he plays, he'll score money.
So that is all the cheery
that's
Facebook.
Torquay, isn't it?
That's it. That's typical Torquay right there. So a few more. We asked the same question on Twitter as well. Once again, thank you to all who responded, so we get a nice chance to chat about all this. Aaron says, if we can get a few more decent signings through the door, Torquay will win the league as champions. Jarvis will score 35 goals or more. Gary Johnson to shine, sorry. And player of the season will be Aaron Jarvis.
A Gary Johnson shrine.
He can have one if Gary Johnson. We can have one if we win the league.
That's
it.
No,
he can't. No.
He's got to win 2 leagues in a row.
You can't get one for taking us down and then take us up again.
Yeah, it's more fun, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
If he gets us to the league, he can have it.
Yeah, if it comes 12, I prefer to go down and come back up and come like 14th twice.
Get us back into the Football League and then we
like
can talk.
In Football League, you can have a statue.
Yeah. Rachel says, keeping the majority of the squad that did well in the last few games, minus Nico and Noobs, is a bonus. Nico, a huge part of that good form, so need to find a defensive replacement or two, but not overly confident with Gary Johnson at the helm, who clearly has no pressure on him by last season's standards. We have D Trust, who says, right now with the lack of signings, I don't see us as favourites. We clearly need to strengthen our defence and midfield. Hopefully we might hear something soon, but I will not hold my breath. And lastly, we have Mark Hurst, who says, we won't finish in the top 2. We'll be outcoached by several teams that many fans will struggle to place on the map. But because Gary Johnson won promotion a generation ago, many fans will give him a free pass for the rest of his career. So some predictions and some statements there. But
who says their mind, thank you. Could happen. It could definitely happen.
Mm-hmm.
I don't mind Yeovil being favourites if people want to see him like that, because Torquay aren't good favourites, so it would take a little bit of pressure.
Favourites.
I'm happy for Yeovil to have the.
But right
I'm happy
now,
for Yeovil to have the pressure.
Favourites, yeah.
Who are the favourites of the bookies?
I don't know. I haven't looked actually, but it's probably pretty even between us two. Isn't it?
I don't think the odds are out yet. I've been trying to have a look and I couldn't find anything. But you would expect. It's weird though, because a lot. If you go and I've seen a lot on Twitter recently. A lot of fans in the league making their predictions, and we're topping pretty much all of them.
Yeah. I think because they see Gary Johnson, and
I think it's because they saw Yeovil as a
they know him very well
mess as well at the time.
Yeah.
So have you had a thought about predictions then, lads?
Yeah, no, I was thinking, because you asked us 2 weeks ago, we'll win the league, I reckon.
3 predictions of the season ahead that we can look back at the end of the season and laugh at for being on the nugget or
Chris is thinking, which Ryan Hansen prediction should I give?
I'll go first, right? Does that feel like Torquay or the whole season?
It can be about whatever you think.
Now, I don't want to be quoted on this,
Oh, there's a big build-up
Well,
here. We're looking
it's being
forward to
It's like
it's being
Yeovil.
recorded, Sam. So it is. You
Yes.
quite clearly are going to be
Yes,
quoted
I'm
on
going
it.
to be
Yeah.
quoted.
But he can edit this all out.
There's something about
True.
Yeovil right now, which yes, they're building a great team, and they've got the momentum right now because
Great.
good at this
Well,
level.
we don't know, have we?
Yeah, but they're building a good team. But I just think there's something missing. 5 strikers, 5 high-profile. I can think 3 or 4 of them strikers. You know, they're putting a lot of pressure on that. Mark Cooper last season didn't go well. He pulled them away, took them straight back down after once he got his players in. You know,
He got the defence right, didn't he? He didn't get any goals. That's
So,
probably
lost their goalkeeper.
so what's the prediction?
I think they might
he's building up
implode.
to it.
I was reckon they come second or third, but like a lot of people now expect Yeovil to win. But I think all the noise and sort of circus will be around Yeovil next season, and I reckon Torquay will be the team that knuckle down to see it through. Right now, I wouldn't be surprised if Yeovil win, but I don't know. There's something about how this owner, and as soon as the owner and Mark Cooper fall out, if that happens,
it does feel like it's one of those that could go either way. It could be a glory.
I think, yeah, no, there's no between.
It's a bit weird, isn't it?
Yeovil are going to implode and go weird, and I think we'll be solid. I think Torquay will have a very good season, as they should do.
Yeah.
I just think it's down to what Yeovil do around us, really. You know, it could be an absolute circus all season, you know, from like Wrexham not counted last season, but something isn't quite. I don't know. It seems all a bit happy, smiley at Yeovil right now, and then where Torquay might actually be the ones that look a bit more sort of down and professional. Come to some, we're getting stuck in and getting nailed to it, you know. So I reckon Yeovil could have an implosion. That's my first one, and I reckon it could all end in tears with them. I hope for our sake. I still reckon they'll come second or third and get promoted. I reckon Aaron Jarvis will be top scorer. I just see us having a good season. I think we're going to have a really fun
All
season.
these brave predictions, Chris.
Yeah, Aaron Jarvis.
I was just thinking that. Cool. Where do you get these from?
I know, but
I predict Chris to predict we'll win every game. You know,
and my surprise player, as I said earlier, and I'm going to stick with it, Brett McGavin will have a good season. That's what I'm saying now.
Lock it in.
Yeah. I reckon Yeovil could just become a massive clown show. I think that's just to sum it up. They might not. They've got
well, fingers crossed, eh?
But I reckon something's going to really implode with them at some point in the season. There'll be some kind of like brawl between the chairman and the manager, not physical maybe. But,
you're building this prediction up now to a.
So those are my 3. No, my 3. It's going to be.
Who's brave enough to go next?
Chris, I'm still thinking.
I just got nominated. How does that work?
I was
I did mine off the top of my head, mate. You know, you don't have time to think about it, so you've got to follow your gut in life.
Yeah, hot on the hot.
We're so mature these days.
I think.
You said that, Tom. I've had about 8 polos without realising after the first recording that.
Yeah, so maybe I you know, think on Sam's lines, I might be a bit brave in that. Say something like Torquay will win more games than last year, something like that. But no, I think that the players who struggled at times last year at a lower level will be better. So your Crows, your Hansons, and McGavins. So I think they will have a more of a say. So I'll go for, you know, unsung heroes to come good. That's the first title for those 3.
That's lovely. That's lovely.
That's nice. That's a nice little slogan for you. I think that I'm excited to see Bradley Ash as much as anything, because I think he's a sort of signing. It was interesting because last time at this level we didn't really go for players who've played at that level before. That was around the time that, you know, the Winters, the Camerons, the McDonalds, they were all kind of bottomed out of academy type players. So to have acquired somebody who's played at this level, I think is great. So I'm excited to see how he does. He seems like a nice lad from all the interviews and what you see of him. He seems like he's bang up for it, which is good. So I think I'm excited to see what Ash can bring. So hopefully he's going to bring us there'll be something there that, you know, that we all like to see. And I think that I think I'll go for people liking Gary Johnson again. I think that's going to be a headline act from this season.
2 games, 2 wins, and Johnson says bounce around the ground.
Yeah. And they'll be loving it. And I think, like, you know, I think as much as anything, I think people, as part of that comment, you know, there's a lot of Torquay fans who just need to let it go now, because, and I understand, as I went on here last year at times, I would have got rid of him. certainly after the Yeovil game, at more than one occasion, I would have got rid of him personally. But he's here. He's a manager that they've invested in. He's been backed with the players who, your Stobbs, your Dawsons.
He's got to win games, Chris, hasn't he? Then people should be able to enjoy that. If they can't enjoy winning games, then what's the point in supporting the club?
Which is where I think particularly the big start, like I said at the end of last year, you look at ours when we went down under ours. What then did for him was the fact we had such a crap start. So what Johnson needs is he needs to have a good start. We need to win some games early, get that feel good factor back, take that odd momentum that we seem to have taken out of getting relegated into this league, get some wins early on, get some points on the board, stamp our authority, and then go and have a good season.
Nice.
Okay.
That's good. Nice.
Shall I go next? We'll save the editor to last, shall we?
I'm still thinking. I can hear it.
He's still thinking.
I'm very slow thinking. You have to pause this video about 5 times, don't you? To talk.
So my three predictions. My first one, you'll be glad to know, is I'm not going to predict Torquay will win the league by 20 points.
Oh, boo.
What idiot would ever think that would be the case under a Torquay United football club? But my first prediction is that Torquay will be promoted come the end of the season. I won't say whether it'll be top spot or through the playoffs, but
playoff winners.
I do think promotion should be achievable next season. My second one is that I think the partnership of Bradley Ash and Aaron Jarvis between them will score a minimum of 35 goals.
Each?
No, between the pair. So they'll score as a pair 35 goals.
What did you call it last time we filmed by accident, Tom?
Yeah.
Chris.
I can't remember actually.
Was it Jash or something?
Jash or something, yeah.
Jash, that's it, yeah. Hopefully not this season, but no, I think
we've
Jarvis
got to work on that nickname.
I think Jarvis will score more than Ash, but I think they will score between them 35 goals this season.
Yeah. Arvis. No,
Baron Jash.
It's not working, is it?
And my final prediction is that Torquay United will be televised at least once next season.
Oh, that's a good one.
Based on the fact that whatever they're calling themselves now, BT or TNT, whatever they're calling them, they did venture to the National League North and South last season for a couple of games, and they did show the playoff finals on TV. And I think not saying it will be us, but if we are having a very good season, that Good Friday game potentially, I could see. If we're going to Yeovil needing, if both teams need something for the title, I could see them easily at least putting it on TV. But that could also mean we could have another good cup run and we'll be on TV for the FA Cup as well. But I think there's a very good chance.
We've won 4 games to get in it.
Yes, that's it. After we've qualified.
That's brave, Tom, that is. Might be on the red button again.
But that's my 3. I think we have a good chance of being on especially being one of the bigger clubs in the South next season. If they do go that way again, I think we've got a very good chance of having at least a TV game, maybe at home, but we'll see. That's my 3.
Okay. Oh God, where do I start? I'll take up the Brett McGavin. Might be good.
I'll say Brett McGavin might be good.
I'll say he'll score 10 goals this season.
Oh my God.
Yeah. I feel that. What else am I going to say? I think Aaron Jarvis will leave at some stage during the season. Unfortunately, I think
these are crap. These predictions.
It could be It could be January.
What club that's 5 million in debt? 10,000 rather than just leave him on losing on.
Hey, these are my predictions, not yours. Just because you went all safe and said all this predictable stuff.
What, Jarvis leaving? No.
But we'll replace him well, and we'll.
When you copied mine, you said about Brett McGavin. You said me being safe. You just said about Brett McGavin.
I took that further though. If you're going to put it out,
go Ross Marshall.
I'll go for it.
Go Ross Marshall.
I think Ross Marshall could have a good season as well, but I'm not sure I want to predict that.
You're already held accountable for that.
He might not play as the trouble, so could have a good season from the bench, and maybe he'll come on last 5 minutes of games and ruffle a few feathers. What else should I predict? I'll say we'll win the league against Yeovil on that Good Friday game.
Oh, that's a good one.
Oh, that'd be good.
Be a nice one, wouldn't it?
That would be not bad.
But I think if Jarvis, we can still replace them well, and I think we can still do it. So I'm not, I'm not saying that would be curtains for our season, would it? Nubile will probably score against us as well, but that's a side prediction. That's just too predictable.
That's not prediction. That's just going to happen.
You just know that's going to happen, don't you?
The question I want to know is, will if we get a potential guest we've got lined up on, will he be brave enough to say this in front of them about Yeovil? That's the question, isn't it?
What about Yeovil?
Will he be brave enough to put these Yeovil predictions to our Yeovil affiliated guests potentially?
Sure, they'd be fine. Sure, they'd be fine.
Oh, we love Yeovil.
I'd like to hear their thoughts on the chairman. Actually, it's interesting.
Absolutely, absolutely.
It's always very interesting to have a perspective from other fans.
He's definitely a Marmite type character, isn't he? You either go to love him or hate him, aren't you? So
it all depends on the success of the football club.
Yeah. Anybody going to Exeter Plymouth ones, Chris?
I'll be going Exeter.
Okay.
I will be going to Plymouth.
I think I'll be going both. Actually, I won't be going any of the youth reserve games.
Work not allowed in.
Work permitting, I should be able to do the Plymouth one, and the flag will be there hopefully as well.
Very nice flag. Let's talk about the flag.
Nice flag at last.
It's good, Tom.
Beautiful. It's really great work. It's brilliant.
Yeah, very good.
It's had a lot of good feedback, and thank you to Dave and Jason, my Hampton friends, who watched this and came up with the entire design themselves. So they did a cracking job with that. So
I knew he'd mention his Hampton friends at some stage.
Oh, Hampton National League South friends.
It's interesting, on their fixture list, their home games are to be decided because they don't think their ground's going to be ready in time.
Well, what's the option for them?
Who knows?
Sure.
Oh, there isn't one. No. Good.
There we are. Thank you for joining us. And we'll see you in a few weeks. And hopefully a few signings by then as well.
Here's Hargreaves, chance for Torquay. Chris Hargreaves, the captain. If he stays offside, Carlisle checks instead. He's looking for Benyon.